You know, according to Chris Rock, is actually, I shouldn't even say it. I should just no. I mean, I should link his comedy bit in there in this video, but I won't. I'm just gonna read this off and let you decide what you think about it while I head to the gym. Hmm? Okay, so let's see here. And this is not an exaggeration, or it's not me making stuff up. Link. Billionaire's ex wants 1 million a month to raise kids. Raising kids is getting expensive, especially if they're used to taking private jets to their 5 homes. Okay. In an escalating divorce battle, Chicago hedge fund billionaire Griffin, Ken Griffin, Ken Griffin says in court papers his wife Ann Diaz Griffin wants 1 million a month for child-related expenses. How can three kids under age of 10, how can three kids under age 10 cost 1 million a month? In his filing, Griffin says Diaz is demanding money for her own lifestyle under the guise, quote unquote, under the guise of the children's expenses. No shit. I mean, fuck. Well, what the hell have everybody been saying for the longest time? Back to the article. He says those include $300,000 a month for private jet travels, $160,000 a month for vacation rentals, and $60,000 a month for office space and professional staff. Since when did raising kids become an office job that you need a team of advisors or professional staff? I mean, hell, you know what? In today's leftist liberal age, there might be a degree in profession in waking kids the fuck up to get them to school, but I don't think that's the case just yet. We're not that bad. I don't know, maybe there's a PhD in getting kids to eat their vegetables. Back to the article. In a statement, Diaz said the filing is, quote, riddled with falsehoods and just another vindictive attempt by Ken Griffin, Illinois' richest billionaire, to punish his family and avoid his clear responsibility under Illinois law to maintain his children's lifestyle. Ah, I swear. As amazing as humans think they are, one of the great arrogances of humans is to think that they can do all things. This is something that humans could not make up. This has to be real. And you could not write this in Hollywood. Hollywood is null and void compared to real life when it comes to shit that has got to be fucking fantasy. Back to the article. In the filing, Griffin said it is, quote, it is clear that the only agency Anne sees is the risk that she might have to start spending some of her own substantial wealth to support herself in the opulent lifestyle she desires, unquote. In a previous filing, Diaz said she and her children, not their children, her children. Interesting. She and oh no, I'm sorry, my mistake. It does say their children. Okay, my mistake, madam. In a previous filing, Diaz said she and their children have come to. Here we go. Chris Rock. What the fuck is she eating that she needs $1 million a fucking month? $1 million a fucking month. In a previous filing, Diaz said she and their children have come to, quote, enjoy a lifestyle reserved only for the very wealthy. including houses in Chicago, Aspen, Hawaii, Miami Beach, and New York. Oh my God. Um, okay. What's the matter, Mrs. 1%? You afraid that you might have to come back down to Mars to uh, the desert of the real? Do you think? I mean, fuck. Do you think that perhaps maybe you might have to, I don't know, get a job? Maybe you might have to settle for, I don't know, maybe $250 a fucking month. Ooh, you might have to scale down from that fucking custom-made Bugatti Veyron down to maybe, I don't know, a Koenigsegg. I mean, sweet fuck. You might just have to sell that home in fucking Antarctica, right? I mean, my fucking God. I mean, shit. The people in freaking Congo of Africa, they can afford. Oh, fuck, hell. Uh, they also quote. Going back to the article, they also have quote unrestricted access. Jesus fuck. Okay. They also have quote unrestricted access to two private jets. Um, Unrestricted access quote unquote to two private jets. Quote to travel to the aforementioned homes unquote, as well as other destinations. She said the family has a large group of staff members assigned uh, assisting the family, including extensive household security and family office employees, and their own company that employs staffers called Griffin Family Services. I do believe that's the end of it. Again, link. Uh, um. Uh, okay, well, and here, okay, thank God, the first comment I see in the comment section, Suzanne Fernald, and she has a whole bunch of thumbs up, so I'm guessing she said something, reasonably fair. Let's see, seriously, quote, she says, seriously, live in the real world. It makes me sick to see families that don't even have the basic needs, or bright kids that can't afford college, and people that are just not able to make it. And what these people could do to pay it forward and change lives for the better all around them is just if they just look if they just open their childish eyes and look. The terrible attitude is so pressed down their children, the next generation. Yeah. Um, Well, hell, it's their money. They don't have to help anybody. Oh my God, socialism. Oh my God, wealth distribution, all that shit. Um, yeah. So what's going on here is that I guess maybe, I mean, standard issue stuff reigns supreme here. MGTOW, never get married. Uh, Bitches is out to dig gold and whatever the fuck, whatever. But I mean, what is it is? I mean, I mean, does she feel like she's going to be out of the 1% and that she might have to come down to where the pros are, us pawns, us bottom dwellers, us us more grounded people? I mean, certainly she has nothing to complain about. I mean, after all, so many people from the rich right down to some people in the very poor are always saying how poor people have nothing to complain about because they have life so good. They have. In fact, I will actually read off something which actually was going to prompt me to make another video. Where is this? To make another video, but I decided not to. Um, where is this? Let's see. Ah, shit, this thing takes so long. I don't understand. This connection is good. All right, let me try it this way then. Uh, interestingly enough, I'm actually going to be going to Aaron Clary's site for this. Aaron Clary. Not because of what he actually said, but because of what someone on his page says. And let's see here. Ah, here we go. Um, Listen to this. And, I mean, if it's so good for us poor people, us poorer people, not that she's going to be anywhere near where the rest of us are when if she doesn't get this money, because again, she has her own money. I mean, God forbid you might have to just live in a regular house, right? You don't need to live in a fucking Palace of Versailles McMansion, 20 bed, 20 bath, 20 half bath. Imagine that, I mean, fuck, you might just have to not eat caviar one day out of the year. You might have to settle for fucking filet mignon or something. Can't have caviar 365 days. But on leap years you can, but that's just not good enough, is it? Okay, so let me read off something that YouTube user, quote, that smart hot guy, said. Uh, and this was on Aaron Clary's Nobody is the title of his video is Nobody is Retiring at 65. Quote, besides paying a shitload of taxes, the top 5% have also subsidized the poor just in terms of all the technological advances that make our lives more efficient and comfortable. We live in a country where even the poorest people carry around all the information known to man in their pocket. Even the poorest people are able to buy a vehicle that will transport them from point A to point B. Even the poorest people can walk into a grocery store which is filled from wall to wall with a huge variety of cheap food. Not to mention all of the modern appliances that have made doing chores quick and easy, and freed up even more of the people's time, which is then, but this is not quoting him. This is just me interjecting this, or injecting this, which is then spent doing working your ass off at a job that you probably hate, just to be able to afford all this shit. So how much time is really being saved if you have to then go and spend it elsewhere just to keep up? Just with keeping up with being alive, not keeping up with any Joneses. Anyway, back to that smart hot guy. People's time. And in the coming decades, we will have even more modern conveniences available, judging by the advances we are making in 3D printing, robotics, and other areas. Seriously, poor people in modern America live better than most well-off people did 100 years ago. And it's all thanks to capitalism and rich people, the two things that so many of my generation seem to hate. It astounds me that so many Americans don't realize how good they have it. Right. So, madam, and I'm going to read off my response to him as well. But, madam, I mean, hell, you're not even going to be amongst us, but apparently 1 million a month if you don't get it is going to be a problem. Really fund their lifestyle. I mean, at 10 years old, those kids can learn to. I mean, how many kids around here get moved from lifestyle to lifestyle? They're used to being here, and then okay, their dad is in some military somewhere, so they get shipped off to some base in fucking Alpha Centauri, some military base. Okay, so now they get shipped off to fucking Seventh Heaven, 10th Nebula because their dad went and got a job over there, and their lifestyle changes. But yet your kids at 10 years old who probably don't even realize all of the wealth that's floating around them. They're just glad that they have unlimited money to go and fucking max out their character in whatever MMORPG they play. You really think that they're gonna be so mentally ruined and destitute that, oh my god, I don't have anywhere near as much money. Not that I'd probably even ever use that much money to literally stay alive, but oh my God, I don't have $1 million. We're all gonna starve. Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to, I don't know, go to school or some shit. What is the thought process? What is the thought process that makes you? What the fuck am I asking that question for? I know full well what the thought process is. Yeah. Anyway, let me read off my response to that smart hot guy. That's actually his his YouTube name. Didn't make that up. Okay. Uh, I went and responded to him, and this wasn't even trying to start a fight. And I noticed he hasn't responded to me, and it's been 12 hours. So, but this wasn't even trying to start a fight. I was just giving him these three answers to his points to see what he or anybody else would say. Nobody has said anything. Quote me to the smart hot guy. That smart hot guy. Quote, only three things to say in response to your comment. One, the poorest can't afford those things. 99.99% of homeless people can't walk into a store and buy food, don't have a car, and don't have any tech able to hold any amount of anything. They wouldn't be homeless if they could afford food, clothing, and shelter, which they could use to build off of and supposedly climb through the socio-economic ranks. Two, last I checked, the rich are the ones that run the government via politicians and lobby for laws, including tax laws, in addition to having offshore havens. Robert Kiyosaki, in addition to many others, have said that the tax laws favor the rich and hurt the middle class down. I dare say that the rich are getting as much deductions, quote unquote, as godly possible, just like anyone else. This is plus we're in tax season now, so I mean shit. Deductions, just like anyone else. If they were really getting squeezed for all their cash, thanks to this supposed socialism, apparently America's becoming socialist, which I can see in some senses, but not at all. Not as much as the right wing capitalists, libertarians, and all that are liking to say. But yes, I do see the socialism coming. Suppose socialism, they wouldn't still be rich now, would they? On paper, they may supposedly pay 50% in taxes, but after all their quote unquote business expenses get factored in, not including the cheap labor most companies get from overseas, something everyone knows since no one in something everyone knows since no one in America wants to work for the wages Chinese get for the same job, they can very easily pay up to zero in taxes. Let's see the average person living in America get their taxes down to even 3%, no matter what they do. Three. Why not compare us to people 1, 2, 3, 4,000 years ago by that logic? Would you take data from 100 years ago and try to mount any argument for anything? If yes, then, and I just put, that little face that Eric Cartman makes where it's like a freaking X, and then it's like a greater than sign, underscore, less than sign. It's just basically showing stupidity. All right. And then if yes, then that face. If not, then why do it here? I couldn't stand that argument. Why the fuck you? Oh my God, 100 years ago. 100 years ago? Really? Are we going to take Are we going to take medical data from 100 years ago? Are we going to take any kind of data from 100 years ago and use that as some metric for our lives today? No, I mean it would be just as imbecilic as somebody a million years ago or a million years from now using the data that humans have today on everything as a metric for their life in that time in the future. So every time I hear somebody come up with that argument, I gotta think, yeah, they're bullshit. And they know full well that what the other side, which just happens to be maybe perhaps liberal, leftist, socialist, whatever the hell, is right, at least in one sense, not all the time, but in one sense, and they have no argument. So they got to come up with 100 years ago. Look at your life compared to people 100 years. Well, look at their life compared to people 1,000 years ago. What the hell kind of comparison is that? Huh. Anyway, So bringing that, I'm not going off on a tangent, but bringing that to this, well, madam, you know what? Since the 1% or 5% in this case have managed to convince this guy, which I don't think he's rich. Something tells me that smart hot guy is not rich. He very well might be. Who knows how much money he might be making off YouTube? Um, but I don't think he's rich. Uh, well, you managed to convince so many of us that, oh, the rich are giving us poor people, us proles, us peons, us peasants, such a good life. Well, feel free to come down to this good life, madam. I mean, there's plenty of room. I mean, there's always more room at the bottom of the fucking pyramid. There's even more room under the pyramid than at the bottom of the pyramid. So come on down. Shit. Anyway, I shall leave you all to think what you want to think. Link to the article. And yeah. Um, yeah. Billionaire's ex wants $1 million a month to raise kids by Robert Frank. Uploaded 3 hours ago. CNBC. I mean, hell, I might not get enough views. I mean, I notice that my videos don't really get too many views, but hopefully this video spreads, much like my college is a fraud video. Hopefully this video spreads, and perhaps maybe now people will also see, mm, or men will also see, yeah, you know what? The richer you are, the more marriage might not be in your best interest. Um, I'd like to think this man signed a prenup, but chances are that might get sideswiped. So who the hell knows? Anyway, I'm gonna take my little poor proletariat ass to the gym and lift these heavy ass weights, get on some gains. It is a bench day. Well, yeah, bench day. Shit. Uh, my God. Ah, God, my God.